Greg Feudy and Tom Clark here. We are at our final inspection department. This is the last formal check to make sure our tools are in the condition we expect before they're shipped out to the customer. We have 4 key areas here. We do a visual, a Rockwell for hardness, a gauge for go, no go, as well as a torque test.
Yeah, like one of the things that makes our quality process unique, is the steps that Greg mentioned there. Yeah, so like we have a pretty unique process that we actually, depending on the size of the job, we'll actually fully dimensionally check every single part, and then we do a series of non-destructive tests that includes the go, no go gauges, like the Rockwell hardness test, and we do a non-destructive load test on all the product as well.
All right, so we're at one of our 4 areas within final inspection, which is our go, no go gauges, and Tom's going to talk a little bit more about what goes on here.
Yeah, so like one of the other things that makes our quality process unique is we actually make the gauges themselves in-house too. So here you can see behind me, we have a vast array of go, no go gauges. It's a quick, simple, effective way to actually check the sizes dimensionally of both our drive end and the nut end openings of our sockets and wrenches as well. So like you could see the range of gauges we have to do. So here we have a 1/4 inch drive. This measures, so the green on this indicates a go condition, and then the red side is the oversized. So if the red side of the gauge goes, that's telling our inspectors that the feature is oversized. And then same to give you a good perspective of scale. We have a 4.5 inch hex gauge behind me, and then we have our whole assortment of other gauges, starting at 3 3/16 all the way up to 4 3/4.
So here we have our 4024 3/4 inch chrome socket we'll be using for examples throughout the final inspection department. First we'll start with our go, no go. So Tom just explained how the gauges work, and it's just how it sounds. Green is go, red's no go. So here we have the drive, and we're going to test. Boom, as expected, the gauge is accepting on the go side. Flip it around, no go, should not be accepted, and there we see it's acting as it should. Flip it around to the other side. Once again, the green go, nice fit in there. Flip it, and the red is a no go. So we have these gauges throughout the department, not just in final, but throughout all the areas to ensure quality is being met at each stage of the process. So we're at a second area of final inspection, which is the Rockwell tester. This measures the hardness of the tool, which is critical for application, as we got to make sure that the tool is ready to perform at the high tolerances that our tools are used at. So this is one of 4 Rockwell machines we have in the building. They're sprinkled throughout the quality lab, our internal heat treat, as well as back in shipping for any kind of loose items that may come through.
Yeah, so as Greg mentioned, checking the hardness is essential to not only the quality, but performance and safety of the product here. So you can see, like the Rockwell is pretty easy to verify in-house here. We have our own hardness tester that he will demonstrate here.
Yeah, just do a pull down like a slot machine for a couple seconds there, release, and you'll get your readout, a perfect 43.4.
All right, so the last stop our product takes here, if we're following our 4024 throughout the final inspection process, is our load tester here. So here we're load testing to the industry standard, our ASME B107 standards. And then here we're actually going to be load testing this here and actually testing the proof torque. So here we have, like up in the mandrel, we have our socket, and then about 20 inches away is where we're actually going to be applying the load. This particular socket's going to be going to 5,725 inch-pounds. So at 20 inches away, I'm going to be seeing about 287.5 pounds up on this gauge here. So we're going to cover this part up for safety and start applying load on our cylinder here. You can see, we'll start slowing it down. And here we are, we're over 360 pounds, which translates to well over spec. So as you can see, this part passes with flying colors.
So we mentioned that there's 4 areas of final inspection. We walked through Rockwell, the gauges, a torque test, and the 4th is a visual inspection. So depending on the lot size, the final inspection will review visually the part, looking for any imperfections that may have somehow made it through the process. Some obvious ones they like to check are the stamp, making sure it's straight, pristine, deep enough. On a ratchet, make sure the knurl has a nice finish, and if the tool's chrome plated, that the chrome is looking pristine.
And then for black oxide product, we'll also look at the quality of black oxide, make sure there was no spots missed. Sometimes in the method that's used in our product, like in the tumbler, like parts will stick together, and you might have like an area that's not that doesn't get coverage in black oxide as well. So I mean, like that's just the one final step of dedication to our customers is the visual inspect, because that's one of the ways that we set ourselves apart is visually as well when the product's sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, it's the first thing you see, so making sure everything looks right.